How to make so much money wholesaling real estate, it feels like you're cheating. Like it feels like it's not fair. It feels like how am I doing this, right? And how I kind of define cheating in wholesaling, right? Like how to get so good at wholesaling it feels illegal. It feels like cheating is you're basically cheating the system. You're cheating how the average person gets into wholesaling versus how you get into this business. And that's always been my like top definition of, you know, how how can you be so good at wholesaling that it just doesn't feel like you should be this good? And I wake up every single day in wholesaling real estate feeling like this because I work way less than the average person and I make way more money than most people and most top wholesalers combined. And I was able to do this because first and foremost, I've learned that my time has not been correlated with my income at all. And that's kind of a big like part of entrepreneurship and making a lot of money in especially in real estate wholesaling business, however you kind of want to, skin the cat here, is I've been really good at just going out here and finding people to do the work for me. Now, this whole video is not scaling, this whole entire live stream isn't about scaling at all. But what I want to talk about today is how to just get so good at wholesaling that it just feels unfair. And I want to give everybody here watching this tonight an unfair advantage for success, an unfair advantage that you could start using right now. Now, this is not going to be your average, just get rich, grind, type video, like going crazy, screaming at you, motivational David Goggins, insert whoever is your motivational speaker of choice. That's not what today's about at all. Today's more about working smarter on wholesaling. Now, there always is tactical advice on just doing the work, right? But everyone knows to do the work. Everyone knows that. Like, well, what's the thing that you don't know, right? How can we actually start becoming successful doing that right now? And so let's kind of talk about exactly kind of what I like to call, and I'm kind of dubbing this the wholesaling cheat code, right? Because we're talking about, how to get so good at wholesaling, it feels like, quote, cheating. But I'm going to talk about how you can get so dang good at wholesaling, like you're using kind of the cheat code, right? So I am such an old person, right? I always talk about how old I am. I'm an old man. I'm 25. I'm nursing homes next year. But I'm so old. I remember playing GTA 4, okay, as a little kid, okay? That's how old I am. GTA 4, all right? GTA 5, I was 13. Oh, Lord. Dude, I just turned a teenager. I was just 13 when GTA 5 came out. But I was playing GTA 4. I specifically remember this, right? And you could have these little game. You could put like a code in the phone to do like a cheat code on like story mode. It was the craziest thing back then. And it was like a cheat code you could play for GTA. They didn't have that GTA 5, and GTA 4 is a million years ago. And the thing about it is you could like put the cheat code and just like basically get whatever you want. I'm going to give you the cheat code coordinates to go put on your little, what's the Apple phones they call there? Like Zapple phones or something like that, right? I don't know what it is. But basically, I'm going to give everyone today watching this a cheat code on how to just get so rich and successful, right? Up, down, left, right, start, select. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That was the old New York GTA 4. But basically, you do like up, right, left, 4, and then like your car, helicopter, all that fun stuff came. But I'm going to give you the cheat code for success here. And the biggest cheat code I can give anybody starting out in wholesaling is to stop with these leaky buckets that you're going to have in your wholesaling business. And when I talk about a leaky bucket or kind of something that is stopping you from having success, I like to kind of draw it out and kind of show a sort of visual representation of this. And so basically, if we were to look at a leaky bucket, right? So we're gonna input Zach's drawing skills to the test today. But we're going to go out here and look at a leaky bucket, right? So if we go out here and we want to kind of look at how we run a wholesaling operation, right? So let's go get a little pen, a pencil, with it up. All right, cool. So if we have a little bucket, I don't know how to draw a bucket, but okay, cool. We have, let's say, 3 little buckets. All right, they're like more cylinders, but you kind of get the point, right? and the buckets have like water in them. Okay. I mean, you kind of get the point. They got water in them. Nice. Awesome. Great. Okay. This is a filled out water bucket, right? And if you go out here and you have a little crack in the bucket right here, little crack right here, little crack right here, you'll find that there is water leaking out of the bucket. Okay. That is how I describe a leaky bucket. Okay. The bucket that leaks. Zach, you are an absolute genius. I know. Thank you. Give me my Nobel Prize right now. I'm ready to accept it. So, if we know that is what a leaky bucket is, so let's use one bucket for an example here. So we'll use this little bucket right here. Cool. Great. It's got water in it. Makes sense, right? And let's play this game of buckets and wholesaling, okay? So this one's got a little leaky bucket. Water's leaking, right? And the main goal, okay, is to take water from the river, you scoop it up, and you bring it into kind of this like container. Okay, let's call it mega. Let's call it right here. It's like the mega water container where you put all the nice fancy water. Okay, call it wherever you want, right? So the point is, you go here, you scoop water from the river, and you scoop it with your bucket right here, and then you put it in the little container, right? But if you're going here and water keeps leaking everywhere, that's not good. You want to basically, what do? You have two choices here in wholesaling, right? And of course, my drawing is superb, and I am the greatest artist of all time, Picasso in the flesh. The thing is, you can either have two options. You can go and decide, hey, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to patch the bucket so there's no leaking, or I'm just going to go out here and just double the buckets and just work twice as hard because the bucket keeps leaking a ton of stupid water from the cracks. What do you think would be the easiest choice if we're doing this? Let's say, for example, we're doing it like 100 times a day. And, the distance is like 1 mile apart, right? 1 mile apart. There we go. We go to the river with our bucket. It's leaking all over the place. So the bucket's like halfway full by the time we dump it in there. And we run back and okay, I'm going to have 2 buckets at a time. So the choice is 1, right? That's how a lot of wholesalers kind of treat wholesaling, right? They have these systems or processes. They just grab a bucket. It's leaking. They're like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep scooping more. And they always want to buy the next crazy bucket, and they want to go crazier and crazier and crazier. When the truth is just patch the bucket and you'll be a lot better. And so the question here is, what is a leaky bucket? Well, for most wholesalers, their leaky bucket is going to be, first and foremost, is just their absolute terrible consistency, right? That's probably the worst thing I've seen in wholesaling is we have people that get motivated for a week and then they'll wholesale and then they'll just kind of give up a week and they'll go back a week and they'll give up. And it's better to just do it every single day. I mean, 7 days a week is going to be ideal. I mean, 5 is very, very manageable. But I'm going to wholesale Monday, don't wholesale houses for like 4 days, and then going out here and wholesaling on the 5th day. Like you're set up for failure here. And it's better you do at least 2 hours a day, 7 days a week than 1 day a week, 12 hours. And what I really want you to understand here is the leaky bucket is going to be your absolute terrible part of consistency because you have to go catch up the next day. Like, okay, where are my leads? I talk to them once a week now. It just sucks. It absolutely sucks. And so what I could tell you is the first part of your leaky buckets in this business of why you just can't print money is because you just can't consistently get leads in. Everyone's like, oh, of course, duh. And so the choice is, if you can't consistently get leads in, should I drop $4,000 on some like crazy marketing thing? Well, is that going to land me more deals? No. Just market every single day. If you're consistent with your marketing, your leads are going to be consistent. But so many people want to just go hard in the paint one day and then stop, and it's not good. And the way I describe it is it better to do 1 8-hour basketball practice on a Monday and then have your basketball games on Saturday? Or is it better to do 2 hours a day for 4 days and then you have the game on Saturday? Which one would be better? There's diminishing returns when it comes to basketball training. Okay. 8 hours one day and then going 4 days without it is not as good as just doing 2 hours a day for 4 days, or 3 hours 4 days and then 1 or 2 hours the other day, right? It is better to just be consistent. And I would argue this. Is it better to do, I don't know, 365 days of basketball training in 1 month, 10 hours a day for 1 month, or is it better to do 1 hour of basketball training every single day for a year straight? The answer is pretty dang simple. It's better to do 1 hour a day because your body doesn't know the difference and you start to get fatigued. There's a point of diminishing returns sometimes, right? Say, I want to cold call 12 hours a day versus 5 hours a day. Seems like 12 hours is twice as good. No, because then you start getting tired after a certain, period of time. So if you want to consistently get deals, you got to consistently just show up every single day. And I'll tell a lot of people, half of y'all's leaky bucket is you just absolutely refuse to go through the free wholesaling course I provide you. And your biggest leaky bucket is because, oh, Zach's teaching me for free. That means it sucks. Bro, I don't care who is teaching you wholesaling real estate. I can almost guarantee with 99% accuracy that I have made more money this year than them. Just being straight up with you. Does that mean they have a better course than me? Doubt it. Are they making more money than me? No. So why? Because they charge you makes it better if your mentor, me, makes more money than them. I don't say this arrogantly, but the truth is because I make so much money, I don't need to charge you. Is that me being like too much? No, it's not. But stop acting like Zach teaches for free, so it sucks. I teach it for free because I make too much money. I don't need to go out here and sell you a course. I don't need to do it. And that's pretty dang dumb in my opinion. It's a bad trade of my time and money. I just teach you for free and then you send me wholesaling deals and we make 30, 40, 50 grand on a deal together. Way easier. And yeah, sometimes I'll make softwares to make my wholesaling business easier and then give it to you guys, right? Like for example, I have this entire underwriting bot that we're going to give out on version 3. It's a quick little leak. All my JV deals that are coming in, I'm using this underwriting bot. And with about 95% accuracy, I've been able to pretty much eliminate most of my underwriters on my team. Remember, I'm doing thousands of deals and I've been able to eliminate my most expensive part of my operations, underwriters, because I made an underwriting bot on X Leads that is with 95% accuracy, gives the alpha of exactly if I'm going to make 10,000 the deal or not. I'm going to give it out to everyone absolutely for free on who has an X Leads to subscription on Thursday. So sometimes I make softwares, but because I make softwares to make my business even more profitable, I just give it to you guys included, right? So one thing I'm going to tell everyone is your biggest leaky bucket right now is just you getting your own dang head. And if I could just get one thing through your mind right now, okay, one thing I get through your skull right now is this leaky bucket in your brain is the worst one, the absolute worst one that I ain't going to get in a 40-minute Zach rant, but I get a 40-minute Zach rant about how you are just in your own dang head. You're your absolute worst enemy. So many people think their worst enemy in life is the other wholesalers in your market when the absolute worst person is yourself. The only person that can truly defeat you is you. The only person that can who can destroy you on an appointment is you. The only person that can absolutely cause your success or your triumph with 100% control over yourself and your future is you. Not somebody else, not some other wholesaling guy, because they got leaky buckets too, and we're going to go dominate on that. But so many people want to just talk about how, oh my gosh, the reason why I'm not successful is because of this guy. It's this guy. No. The reason why you suck right now is because you don't believe in yourself. I can't teach you to believe in yourself. Either you know he's going to do it or you don't. But I'll tell you one thing, the people that are always successful in wholesaling believe in themselves. So a prerequisite to success in wholesaling is to believe in yourself. Now, everyone loves to throw the buzzword. You know what belief? See, I'm not using the word confidence, right? Everyone says confidence. I think confidence is such a buzzword, right? Because, even the Wizard of Oz in the 30s, right? They said, oh, I wish I had courage. Courage was in you all along. No, courage is confidence and a belief that you can do what you want to do because it's within you. A belief is something you can change in your mind. Drives me crazy. My, oh my. So we're talking about leaky buckets, right? That's how you become successful. So again, why listen to me? Why listen to this 25-year-old guy screaming at you on a camera? The reason why you should kind of listen to me is first and foremost, my name is Zach Ginn. I've done officially over 4,000 wholesaling real estate deals over the past 9 years. And I've made a lot of money wholesaling. And I'm just going to tell you some things today that have made wholesaling feel really easy and simple. The reason I'm able to do so many dang wholesaling real estate deals is I'm really good at having other people do the work for me and I make most of the profits. I believe that's entrepreneurship. Basically, that law is called leverage. And that's something that I love doing. And I'm really good at kind of just squeezing like 40 years of a wholesaling business basically into 9 because I'm really good at knowing what works and what doesn't work, right? And what I want to do today is share with you the unfair advantage that you can have for success in wholesaling real estate. So I think first and foremost, one of my guiding principles of why I think I've blown up on social media is I've shown this revolutionary concept of marketing to sellers that nobody else markets to. And a better way to describe it, I think this is the first time I've ever described it this way on anywhere in my life, is I'm calling it finding the invisible sellers. And what I mean by this is the invisible sellers are sellers that no big wholesaler sees. And so there's a lot of people in your market, right? You might be in Houston, Chicago, Indianapolis, wherever, right? Where you got these big dogs, right? They're going out here pulling 100,000 lists. They're texting 100,000 sellers every single month. And they're big dogs doing big boy and big gal marketing, right? And the craziest part about it is they're doing really dang well. They're making a ton of money. And they think, oh my gosh, I'm doing all the marketing I possibly can. But the truth is, they're not niching down, and there's sellers that they're not even reaching on. Even when you pull a software, there's certain lists that you can't reach. So, for example, I love giving this example, but this is basically going to be the pre-foreclosure list. Now, not a lot of people know this, but if you go out here and you pull a list on X Leads or insert whatever other subpar wholesaling software, because X Leads is the best one. But basically, if you use a list and you pull it on any other wholesaling software, including X Leads, right? Let me tell you a little secret. X Leads pulls the pre-foreclosure list from the same source as about 85% of every other wholesaling list pulling software, especially the bigger ones, right? Because they actually don't own the data. They actually pay billion-dollar corporations for the data. And I found where they got it from, and that's where I get it from too. But when you pull a pre-foreclosure list with these big billion-dollar corporations, there's always about a 1 to 2 week basically gap, right? So the pre-foreclosures, so here's the pro. You can pull a pre-foreclosure in about 3,500 counties. That's gangster because it's really hard to pull the pre-foreclosure list in certain areas. Like, for example, like try to pull a pre-foreclosure in Riverside, California. Bro, it is sucks. Try to pull a probate in Riverside, California. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. I would sell a wholesaling course. It's more fun to sell a whole $5,000 wholesaling course on a stage of 1,000 people live than it is to pull a probate list in Riverside, California, by the way. And that was insane. But yes, it is not fun to do. Okay. And basically what I mean by this is the cool part is like X Leads, you go pull a pre-foreclosure list. But the problem is the data source I have that X Leads uses to get the pre-foreclosures, the same data source that I'm not going to tell you who, but pretty much every other wholesaling software uses. Most of them all use the same ones. But the thing is, it's always going to be 100% accurate, but the problem is it's going to be around 1 to 2 weeks old. That's just the truth. So everyone just pulls the pre-foreclosure list from there and they market to them, which is fine. But here's the problem, right? Everyone kind of gets the same info. Like the data code goes to everyone, which is democratized and nice, but also bad, right? You want an unfair advantage. The fulcrum of success, right? That little lever is you have something that no one else can get. And so the thing you can do is if you go to the county clerk of the court, very hard in Riverside, but other counties and cities, you can do this really easy. Basically, like probates in Indianapolis is actually pretty easy if you know the hacks. That we teach in Wholesaling.com, by the way. But you go out here and you can pull it from basically the dockets or the clerk of the court or public record, list pendants lawsuits. And we teach this in Wholesaling.com. But basically, just to be all fancy, these are the pre-foreclosure lists that are about a week or two before they hit the other big wholesaling softwares like X Leads. So you actually get the pre-foreclosure list going straight to the courthouse about 7 to 10 days before everybody else. That guess what? Now you're marketing to sellers that nobody else is marketing to. And the best way I can describe it, right, is I don't know if this ever freaked you out. There's these like computer games as a kid when I was in elementary school where they had like the timeline and it was a little scary. When I was like in first grade, I remember being scared of like a timeline. They had this like a lion on like a tracks. It was so scary. But like, okay, 0 and then day 10 on like a big softwares, right? So about day like, and let's do this. Day like 7 to 10, this is when everybody gets the data set. But if the pre-foreclosure list is pulled on day 3, and you get this from the clerk of the court, right? The clerk. I was going to do COC, clerk of the court, but I just don't think that's appropriate right now. I have too many trolls in the comments. They want me to do it so bad. I'm not going to do it. No. I'm not going to do that. Okay. We will be doing no. Okay. Okay. We will do that a little later. Okay. But yeah, not right now. But yes. Okay. So pretty much, let's break this. So basically, if you could pull it 3 days before everybody else, that means you have about a 4-day gap, right? Let's make this. This is way too big. Okay. You have about a 4-day gap where you're talking to motivated sellers that not even the big dogs are doing, right? So you have a 4-day gap. So if you reverse drive for dollars and text these leads 4 days before everybody else, you're going to have insane success. That's the craziest part, guys. Insane success. All right. So many wholesalers just want to go out here and cry to me and say, oh no, when, I can't become successful in wholesaling. It's like, wholesaling is so dang saturated. Oh my gosh, I can't do it. It sucks. It sucks. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Okay. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I can't have success. It's so saturated. Well, let me tell you this, okay? You have a 4-day advantage. Probates, pre-foreclosures, tax delinquencies, right? You're always going to have a 5 or 6 day head start on everybody else. You just got to know exactly where to pull it. Clerk of the court, Wholesaling.com. We teach us how to do it right there. I have a government list spreadsheet. It's insane. So we have a glass bottle today. But basically, I'm just telling you right now, if you want to get in front of sellers that nobody else is doing, I'd say do the invisible sellers. Now, to kind of go this even a level up, I mean, just drive for dollars. I mean, just being honest with you. Like, for example, everyone goes out here and pulls a high equity list, right? But what if there's a list that's not the high equity, right? Maybe it's motivated. There's enough equity, but not like a crazy amount. Well, that'd be drawing for dollars. The house is ugly, right? So again, trying to just basically show you what I mean here is if everyone, right, let's say this is a pie, okay? Little pie chart of wholesaling deals, right? Wow. If everyone is like over here, right? And everyone goes after just this, and there's this like little sliver of pie here, which is still millions of dollars. And these are just basically going to be called like the drawing for dollars and the government lists and the digital bandit signs, right? Everyone's going after it here, right? Everyone's going, but no one's going after this little sliver. Nobody's drawing for dollars anymore. Okay. Like, have you ever noticed nobody talks about drawing for dollars anymore? Has drawing for dollars is it dead? No. You know why no wholesaling influencer wants to talk about drawing for dollars? Is it because it's basically free? No. Is it because it's one of the fastest ways to get a wholesaling deal? No. The truth is, no other wholesaling influencer, pretty much outside of me, talks about it because you can't sell a wholesaling course on drawing for dollars. If you give me 15 grand, I can't tell you to drive for dollars. That sounds like a scam. Drawing for dollars used to be a really big thing. And have houses just stopped being ugly? No. I mean, the truth is, you just can't make money off of someone by teaching a drawing for dollars course anymore, right? I know dudes back in the day, 2 or 3 years ago, I'm not going to mention any names, that used to sell courses on how to drive for dollars. And I thought it was crazy back then to do. You're going to give someone $6,000 to learn how to drive for dollars? Bro, jeez, man. Yikes. But what's crazy to me is nobody talks about it anymore. And as much as I love promoting X leads, trust me, I'll glaze X leads all day. Okay. Trust me. I'll glaze X leads all day. I'll glaze X leads more than an Akron guy will glaze LeBron James. But I'm just going to be honest with you. Anyone without any money, just get in your car, look for ugly houses. It is by far one of the easiest ways to get wholesaling deals. And everybody talks about how drawing for dollars is like this torture. Like, if you've ever cold called 4 or 5 hours a day for a week straight, that's way more work than just getting in a car, listening to like some Young Thug, and just driving around town, just rapping your heart out, looking for ugly houses. Now, if you rap a little hard and someone's outside, they're going to judge you a little hard. But that's okay. They're a low-key hater. Okay. But basically, I tell everyone to drive for dollars because nobody's willing to do it anymore. And the bar has always been so low to get a wholesale deal or to have success in this business. The bar has always been so stupid low because nobody wants to work anymore. Everyone's just click a button and have AI do something. AI ain't doing drawing for dollars right now. It's pretty good. Okay. But I'm telling you, okay, that drawing for dollars is the best return on time you're going to have. Because the 10 hours you spend drawing for dollars and you call like 2 hours for the week, it's amazing. You don't feel like it's torture. You're actually having success and you're getting in front of sellers really easy. And X Leads has a drawing for dollars app, just being honest with you. So go out here, drive for dollars. So many people just don't want to do it. I don't know why. But when I talk about leaky buckets, I'm just like, well, some of you guys feel like you're too good to be doing some of this stuff. Absolutely insane. So invisible sellers. So I say government lists, drawing for dollars, reverse drawing for dollars, and digital bandit signs are the best way. Now, that is also the leaky bucket of the big dogs. So like I always said, these big dogs in wholesaling, they want to go pull a list of 50,000 sellers and text and call them. And that's great. That's what I recommend most people do if they want to get a bunch of deals. But you also got to remember this. They ain't drawing for dollars. They're not getting any of those deals. They're getting none of the government lists. They're getting none of the pre-foreclosures. I mean, I'm telling you right now that they're leaking massively in their buckets, and you can just go out here and kind of scoop under them when they're not doing that. And if they're making tens of millions, you just make $1 million or $2 million. I've always said this too. I've always been very transparent how I make my money in my local market and in virtual markets. Like I've said, I make millions of dollars locally here in Florida wholesaling houses. And what's crazy about, let's look at Port St. Lucie, Florida, for example, right? Port St. Lucie is kind of my area of wholesaling, right? I live like 15 minutes from Port St. Lucie. But what's crazy is I make millions of dollars, me and Rick together, in that market, right? It's one of my favorite markets out there. It's local, dear to my heart, love Port St. Lucie. But I also know like 4 other wholesalers who make at least $1 million in that market. Is it because they're just like destroying me? No, it's because there's so much money to be made in this market that we all go on the same appointments, but we all still can make millions of dollars. And what's absolutely crazy is there's virtual guys making millions of dollars too. And the thing is, all you have to do is just have 10% of my success, and you'd be making very much a lot of money, very, very good 6 figures. If you just did, let's say you make 6 figures probably doing 5 or 6% of what I'm doing in my local market. And I'm just having VAs do most of the work. But we have our acquisitions guys going out. But like, if you're just able to make 3 or 4% of what I'm doing locally, remember, I got all these virtual markets. I'm doing all this stuff. Like, you don't need to be me. Everyone's like, I just got to be the next Zach. You don't need to be the next Zach. You just got to be the next you. And if you just be 5%, you'll probably hit 6 figures in your market. 5% of what I'm doing in one local market. That's all you got to do. I'll be fully transparent. I wish I could drive for dollars more. I wish I could split Zach into like 15 of me, and I had one guy who just only drives for dollars. I could probably make $500,000. I'll give everyone my cheat sheet. If I had unlimited me, like if I could make, you know how people make AI clones? If I could make 1,000 Zach clones, I would have one Zach clone go out here, and I would give him a sticky notes, a stamper, And he would just be putting sticky notes on every ugly house and every pre-foreclosure on a list. That's all he would do all day. He would make $500,000 doing this. That's it. All, like, no joke. He'd wake up at 6 a.m., right when the sun got up. He would put sticky notes till like 7 p.m. That's all he would do. That's literally all he would do. And I'd probably knock on doors. Make $500,000 doing that. You know why? It's not that hard. It's really, you know why? Because nobody in my market's willing to do that. Nobody. No, like absolutely nobody. Okay? No one. But the problem is I'm making too much money. It's not worth my time. But if I just wish I could find a kid here, right? I might go to the local state college and be like, "Hey, bro, you're gonna make 200 grand. Come here, let me show you how to do it." You're like, "You're creeping me out." I'm like, no. Just get in the car with me. I'm gonna make you 200 grand. And then be like, "This is so weird." And I'm like, no, trust me. We're just gonna drive around and do what? We're just gonna drive around and look for ugly houses. Bro, you're scared. No, trust me. Just drive around, look for ugly houses, and you're gonna get rich. Like, dude, you are freaking me out. I'm like, you can make 200 grand right now. 200 grand, 10 hours a week. Just drive around, look for ugly houses. I might go around and just let people know. I might go to the next like job fair, and some like 19-year-old straight out of high school is gonna be like, this guy's gonna be like, you could be an AC technician. I'm gonna smack that little pamphlet out of his hand and no, drive for dollars. Get in your car, look for ugly houses. You'll make 6 figures more than this loser. And all you have to do is just drive for dollars. Now, HVAC guys are amazing. Okay. And it means a loser. But he's a loser if he tells you to be HVAC versus driving for dollars and wholesaling. I think wholesaling is the best thing you possibly can do. So one thing I could tell everyone, okay, is just drive for dollars, reverse drive for dollars, door knock, whatever it is, right? Now, the next part for you to have success in this business is speed. I cannot stress this enough, but the best way that you are going to become successful in wholesaling real estate is going to be speed. All right. And what I mean by this is you don't need to even be good at closing. Everyone thinks you have to be like this top dog closer, and you don't really need to, right? So let's use the timeline that I'm scared of, right? Let's do day 0 and day 30 of somebody who decides they want to sell their property, right? And let's say on day 7, I reach out to the seller here who's looking to sell their property. Okay. And we got 2 people, right? You got me. Let's say I'm just brand new in this business. I don't know what I'm doing. And this guy is all like weird, but he's smug. He's like Mr. Fancy Pants. He's a lot older than me. He does a lot of wholesaling deals. And he's like the best guy on the phones. I suck. But I get in front of the seller on day 7 and I give him an offer by day 8. And I meet him at the house. It doesn't matter if we compete. Remember, if both of us compete on day 7 and we both meet the guy, he is going to win 9 times out of 10. He's just way better at closing than me, right? But if I get in front of the seller 30 or 20 days before this guy, I'm just going to get a contract before he can even reach out to the seller. So I don't care if he's better at closing than me. If I get in front of the person before anybody else, and I get at least a day or 2 advantage, I meet the seller before anybody else, I win. I absolutely win. So this is how you become successful. Speed is going to be the most important part. Because so many people are just like, oh, if we're racing and I get a 1-hour head start on a 5K, I'm going to beat whoever's the greatest at running a 5K. You know why? Because I had the speed advantage. I was able to start before you. That's how you do it. So many wholesalers want to go out here and be like, you have to be the greatest closer of all time, and you just got to be the best at talking to sellers. And it's important to have that stuff. But if you just have base closing skills, which anyone can really get there in wholesaling, you just need to get in front of sellers faster. And you need to be going after the right lists and just marketing more and having opportunities before your other competition is able to do it. So everyone wants to focus on going out here and closing deals really, really, really quick. really quick. And it's always about having that speed. And so many people just, I don't know why, it drives me so crazy. They just want to focus so dang hard on just being so perfect at sales and closing. And I've seen like 10 of these closing wholesaling boot camps. And it like depresses me because nobody wants to focus on marketing anymore. Nobody. They just want to talk about closing, which is the new sexy thing. And next year, dispo is going to be the sexiest thing. But marketing has always been the way to get that bread. Okay. If I'm the baker and I'm making the bread, okay, it's all about that dough. Dough makes the bread. And that's all I focus on. Okay. It's like talking about making bread and I'm the baker. And I talk about it's very important, the dough, but everyone's like, well, what kind of oven are you using? And everyone's to focus just like on the oven. I'm like, I mean, any oven's going to be fine. As long as the oven works, the bread will be risen. Okay. Stop focusing. But is it a Cuisinart? Is it an LG oven? You don't even care what kind of bread. I could be having like stale bread. No, we don't care if the bread is stale or not. Who cares about how stale the bread is? If the oven's good enough, it will overcome it. No, it won't. How good the dough is and how well you make the bread first is the most important part. Not about it's not about the stupid oven. It's about how much sugar you put on the bread after it's ready. Get out of here. Okay. It's so crazy to me. All right. It's like people who are just so obsessed over the stupidest things. Okay. And I'll be honest with you. It's the same thing as guys. And I'll be honest. There's guys out here that only care about the crust on a pizza. Like all they care about is the crust on a pizza. They could care less. And these are like Domino's fanboys or Papa John fanboys, which is ew. Like, oh, I only like it when the crust is good. Bro, get out of here. Okay. Most pizzas in Italy, the crust isn't even the good part. It's the actual like pizza itself. But it's all about the crust. Bro, get out of here. Okay. You're making a fool out of everyone, all right? You're scaring everyone off at the party. But don't be going out here and just be focusing on the stupidest things. Now, closing is important, but like you can get a base-like closing skills after about 3 or 4 hours just going through Wholesaling.com, learning how to close the seller. It's a really simple script. Anyone can use it. You can become successful, right? Now, the most important cheat that I can tell anybody for success in wholesaling is going to be what I call my rule of 1,000. And then basically this is if you want to consistently get deals every single month, make 6 figures. Everyone wants to make 6 figures, right? My number one advice for you is just to go out here and put 1,000 hours into this business. I could really care less about how long it takes you or how fast, but everyone talks about consistency. I talked about consistency in the beginning of this live stream too, but consistency means nothing when you just go out here and compare the most important part. Most important part about wholesaling that I've always found is if you can put about 1,000 hours in this business, you're going to have unwavering belief in yourself. You're going to have that confidence. You're going to be amazing talking to sellers. You're going to know what works and what doesn't work. You probably have a couple deals in your belt. And you never have to ask yourself the stupid question. You know, like, I don't know if you've ever been on a road trip with like a younger family member, like a little cousin or something, probably your kids if you're watching this. It's like, Dad, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like, that's annoying, right? You know what's even more annoying than that? When am I going to get a wholesale deal? When am I going to get there? Are we there yet? Are we there? That's how are you there yet? That's how I feel. When am I getting a wholesale deal? I don't know. When you get it. Holy moly. But that's the craziest part is you never have to ask yourself, are we there yet? If you just, some parents like count to 1,000,000 and then we'll be there. And I sometimes want to feel like that, but I'm a nice guy, I guess. But if you just put 1,000 hours in this business, you're going to be making so much money. You're not even question like, I wonder when I'm going to get there. Just focus on that. Just focus on getting 1,000 hours. It's all you got to do. So many people just want to just cry about what I haven't got my first deal. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. I'm like, oh, how many calls did you make? Well, I'm not making any calls, but I'm upset I didn't get a deal yet. Okay, so are you upset at the results or the work? I'm upset. I'm not upset about my work. I'm upset about my results. Well, I'm upset about your work. Okay. The reason you didn't get the results is you didn't put that work, right? I always say actions equal results, and you're upset about your results, but your actions suck. Your action has to equal the reaction. And pretty much what this means is if you want a good result, you have to put good actions. And if you're not calling sellers every day, right? You're skipping days and you're taking off and you're chilling, like that's why you're not getting anywhere, guys. And if you want to have success, I tell everyone put 1,000 hours in and stop complaining. Nod your head and say, Roger that, we're getting there. I promise you, if you just show up every single day and do the work, you're going to get better and better. And it's always like a video game. I've always described this as a video game. Basically, what I mean by this is if you ever start playing a video game, you'll find yourself, if you do it every single day, you just get better and better and better and better and better at the video game. Sounds crazy. Sounds like, are you sure? No, it's a real thing. If you show up every single day, like every single day, and you play the video game, after a couple months, you're going to be way better than when you first started. I remember when I first started playing Call of Duty, right? I'm so old. I used to play Black Ops 1. Okay. Now, I used to play that almost every day in middle school. And I'm telling you right now, I put so many hours in Call of Duty that there's nobody in here. There's probably some. Not many people that can beat me if we played zombies into Rise. Okay. If we're both into Rise and zombies, no one's going to beat me. Okay. I'll get to like round 70 solo. I know all the nooks and crannies. It's memorized in my brain. Every single inch of that map. Okay. I'm telling you right now, you give me a ray gun, it's over. So the thing about it is because I put so many hours playing that game that I might not pick up zombies for 4 more years, and I'm still going to beat you because I already put so many hours in, it's already ingrained in my brain. Same thing in video games happens in wholesaling. I put so many hours into wholesaling, I could work 4 or 5 hours a week, and still I'm way better than you because I already put in the hours. That's it. All right? That's how you become successful in this business. You just got to put the hours in. That's why these little kids are so good at their video games. They don't have a job, kids, or a life. And so they can play 4 hours every single weekend and then after school playing video games all day, and they're going to destroy you because that's all they do. All right? These Fortnite kids, when they know how to build, it's absolutely insane. They go, and then they build like a whole structure in 5 seconds. It's all these kids do. Okay? So the one thing I can tell you to do too that I've always found that can help you with your 1,000 hours is having tools. Now, tools are always going to help you do work, but they're never going to be the reason why you're going to have success or not success. They just help. So I always like to use like the beach as an example of sand. And it's like digging in the sand and see who can dig deeper, Mr. A or Mr. B. Mr. A has a shovel and he digs for an hour, 2 hours. Mr. B has his bare hands, but he digs for 10 hours. Mr. B is going to dig way better and he's going to have more success than Mr. A, who has a shovel, which makes it way easier. You know why? Because the tool doesn't determine your success. It's how you work with the tool. Now, Mr. A could probably shovel for 3 hours and get about 10 hours of work done. So if Mr. B does 10 hours, he could probably match Mr. A if Mr. A just did 3 hours because the tool makes him way more efficient. But if you put extra work in, you can overcome even the lack of tools. But everyone wants to think like the tools is going to be like the main thing. And, as much as I hype up X Leads version 3, after version 3, you could still get your first deal without having X Leads. I will be honest with you. After version 3, it's going to get harder. There's some things in version 3 that are going to be kind of unfair towards the free wholesaler. And I kind of feel dirty for releasing a couple of these things. But pretty much it's going to be the point where if you want to have success or an unfair advantage, you have to have X Leads. And I'm not going to talk about it, but it's going to hurt some guys that want to get their first deal and they don't have any money. Because I've been able to automate some things that have just been disgusting and no other wholesaling software has been able to do it. But the reason is because I've just made the tool so good and that's all I've been focusing on. And I've been really, really good at it. And so use tools. They will help you out. Now, if you don't have the money for it, don't do it. But if you have like 100, 200 bucks, I would heavily consider X Leads. X Leads is the best wholesaling software out there, and it will just make your business a lot easier. For example, if you're going to go pull at least 1,000 government lists, it might take you 100 hours to manually skip trace on cyber background checks. You can just click a button and it gets skip traced right there. But I've also been a component of knowing this. And what I tell you, okay, one thing I can tell you is if you don't have a shovel, find somebody with one. What I mean by this is, like, for example, the reason why X Leads is working so dang well right now is because you can e-sign for free. Most people have to pay like 40 bucks a month for e-signing. Now, if you got your first deal, you're about to lock it up, you live in Belgium, and your buddy, in the Discord, or in the comment section lives in, I don't know, Tennessee, and you need to get this thing e-signed, but you don't have the money for an e-signature service. Well, your buddy in Tennessee who has X Leads, you can go to ask him, hey, can I borrow your password and can I do some e-signing for free? So just to help a brother out. He says, sure. So sometimes it's not, and guys, I don't even mind this, right? See, I want to help you guys out. Now, we're not big on sharing the passwords and stuff. The IPs don't allow it, but there's a couple things you can do to help a brother out. But like, for example, you can go out here and e-sign for the guy and help him out. And the thing is it's not like oh, I don't have X Leads, so it's over for me. No, as long as you know somebody who has X Leads and that you probably split the deal with that person, that's all that's all you need. It's fine. Like, okay, I made it disgusting on X Leads. I made you get 15,000 skips a month. I should probably only give you 10,000, but I give 15,000. You know why? Because you have so many extra ones. If you're left over for the month, you can go give it to somebody for free. I don't care. If it's in my community, go give it to anyone for free. I could care less. You know why? Because you're helping people with X Leads. That's kind of the point of the software. And so you can give 4,000 free skips to people, no problem, because you already have too much already, right? Pretty cool. So it's not like, oh my gosh, I don't have a shovel. Go find someone that has one and just borrow it for someone for a day. That's the cool part. All right? That's the cool part. Simple. Holy moly. Yeah, so if you don't have a shovel, go find someone with one. And then very important here, you have to have unshakable confidence in yourself. And this is something that it's harder for me to teach this belief, but everyone says how to have confidence when you just got to have belief. And belief, my definition of belief, which I think everyone's heard 5 trillion times, but I will say it again. I believe in belief. Okay. My definition of belief is my definition of confidence is the belief in the words you say and the actions you do. And this is something that I found a very long time ago, that if you believe in what you say and what you do, you will have unshakable confidence in the way you do things. So for example, if I talk to somebody and I actually have, let's say, I know Rick Ginn and he has a lot of money. Hey, me and my partner Rick are looking to buy your property for cash. That sounds pretty good. But let's say I don't believe that I have a partner. I'm probably going to sound like this. Hey, my name is Zach and I want to buy your house for cash. You're just going to have that stutters. And maybe you have these crazy, stupid limiting beliefs in your minds. Like, well, I don't have enough experience. Oh, I'm too young for someone to believe in me. I'm too young for all that. It's all stupid, guys. I've been locking up deals since I was 17 years old. Trust me. I got a lot of comments. Oh, you're really young. You look a little young to be buying houses. And I have a choice when I went to these appointments when I was 17, 18 years old. I could have said, yeah, I am too young. Or I could say, and this was always my quote, if I have the money in my bank account, does my age affect me buying the property if I already have the money in my account? My partner's 46 years old. Is that a problem? I make decisions on the properties we're buying. I'm taking care of them, and he has the funds. Is that okay with you? Shuts him up pretty quick right there. Because I can tell you in the United States of America, most people buy belief from other people. And what I mean by this is if I tell you something with complete conviction, it rubs off on you. This is why if I tell you that you can do this, I believe if you can go out here and talk to motivated sellers and you can go out here and make offers, you're going to consistently get contracts and you're going to consistently make money. And I'm saying that with complete conviction in my soul because I was doing this stuff at 17. By the time I graduated high school, I made over $100,000 wholesaling. So if you really think that you can't do it, well, I could do it and you're way older than me, right? When I'm saying these things, you're probably like, dang, like, yeah, I can do it. Because you're like, this guy believes himself so much, like he's making me want to believe in myself. And maybe I'm telling you some reverse psychology stuff, but like the way my brain's always worked, and my brain's always a little crazy. Everyone knows this. The wholesaling part of my brain is like, "Rrr!" It's a little hard in the paint. And people who ever meet me in person be like, yeah, Zach just doesn't have an off switch. But the thing about it, and the craziest part about it is I just have unwavering belief in what I do because I've done it so much. And if that rubs off on you, that's awesome. But you got to remember that if you don't believe in yourself, how is a seller going to believe in you? And this is a whole exchange in wholesaling to actually get deals done. That's it. That's how you become successful. So believe in yourself and you'll go out here. And then most importantly about scaling, and I don't know how percent of people need some scaling advice today, but my top piece of advice for scaling today is work less, do more volume. And most of this is hiring VAs and hiring people to go do the work for you and virtual assistants and having the work not be dependent on how much you show up. Very important. So we always talk about increasing the calling volume, the texting volume, the appointment volume without you actually being there. Always going to require employees. Example I always say is, Steve Jobs never made the iPhones himself. He might have invented it or worked with his team on it, but he never made the iPhones by hand. He hired a bunch of people in China for very low money to go out here and do it. And he would make less money if he did it all himself. So he had to hire people and made profit off of that. That's how big business works. Porsche ain't making the CEO ain't making the cars himself. Okay. He hires people to do it in factories. Same thing. You got to look at the lead factory and you have people do the leads for you. Boom.